as a kid, teachers would always tell me to think outside the box. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have had similar experiences in school. And I would take it very literally, where I would imagine a literal box and be like, okay, how am I going to think outside of this? And over time, throughout the years, I began to realize, okay, the box that they mean in my mind are the guidelines and the assumptions that are put on whatever task you're trying to solve. So when they say think outside the box, your task is to look at the boundaries of that box of what the assumed reality or expectations are of how to think a certain way is, and to understand them and validate them or invalidate them. So if you validate them, you say, okay, ignore what anybody else says, what everybody else says is right, because reality is very fluid. There's no black and white. It's a lot of perception and a lot of thought that is based on previous thoughts or previous people's thoughts. And with that mindset, you can begin to understand that, okay, this boundary maybe isn't just an assumption that people have always thought about, but nobody really asked why, and why that assumption exists, and whether or not it's valid. And in some cases, maybe they are valid, and maybe you can find in your own way and understand throughout your own thought process why that assumption or guideline is there. And you understand that there's a border there. But maybe another piece of the box, the figurative box, not the literal one, those guidelines are put in place, again, by years and years of people thinking in the same way, because it was established that this is the correct way to think about something. I'm going to say think and thought a lot in this video. I apologize. But maybe you realize, okay, after thinking, why is this guideline here? It may be for a reason that doesn't serve you. And if that is true, then you abolish that and you create a new outline. And that is what is called thinking outside the box. Difficult idea to comprehend, maybe, I don't know. But I think that's the best I can share it with you guys. And the goal in the world is to grow and to learn and to build yourself to become the best person you can be, whatever that means to you. And the way to do that is, instead of following the assumptions of others, is by always asking why and how, and trying to figure out for yourself how things work. Now, a lot of times you can learn based off of other people's experiences, other people's understandings of what life means. But there are times, and this is very crucial to understand, that you must find out for yourself what something means to you. Because someone else's yes might be your no, and vice versa. Someone else's this is the way to do it might lead you to a path that you don't want to go down. This is very similar with life paths. When taking advice from people who are not where you want to be, they do have the right answer for themselves, but that's not necessarily the right answer for you. So try to apply thinking outside the box to your entire life, and in any decision, whether big or small, that you take or make, and really try to think, instead of thinking of a literal box like I did as a kid, try to understand that the box are the conditions and the assumptions and the rules that people put in place based off of what is right to them, and not necessarily what is right for you. That's all I got for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.